So, 4 Canadians have won the right to try magic mushrooms. Now, there is plenty of science out there showing the benefits of psychedelics on especially end-of-life patients, which is who these 4 Canadians, what they are. So, let me give you. I'm going to get a little deeper into this story in a second here, but I want to tell you from personal experience. I did ayahuasca in Peru about five or 6 years ago now. It was an incredible experience, and it is a psychedelic much in a similar way to magic mushrooms. It allows you to view life outside of yourself, outside of your own ego, and it absolutely. I mean, just again, my personal experience. I'll get to some of the data and science in a second here as well. But from my personal experience, it's something that a lot of people, I think, need. A lot of people need that experience of having their ego dissolved and being able to truly see life and your experiences and yourself for what it is. And it gives you so much insight into your own life. And apparently, that's exactly part of the reason why these 4 Canadians wanted it. So let me show you the story here from CBC. So 4 Canadians with terminal cancer win right to try magic mushrooms. And I do think someday, once we have policy based on science, it's going to be legalized for medicinal use. I don't think it's something that recreational. We can have that discussion in 50 years, but in the meantime, at least we have to focus on the medicinal benefits of magic mushrooms. So one of the patients here, this is Lori Brooks. Let me read a bit about her experience with magic mushrooms. So she said, Brooks said she could never have imagined becoming an advocate for magic mushrooms until very recently. She hadn't ever tried an illegal drug, but things changed a year ago when she learned her cancer had returned. Her doctor gave her 6 months to a year to live if she didn't undergo another punishing round of radiation, chemotherapy, and surgery. Quote, "It was pretty distressing," Brooks said. "The idea of not being around and all the plans that my husband and I had for our life. Now that the kids are grown, everything we wanted to do went out the window, and our lives were turned upside down and backwards again." She was angry and anxious and couldn't sleep at night, and she dreaded the physical ordeal she knew lay ahead during another round of treatment. She says, quote, "I did my psilocybin trip last October, and immediately afterwards, I was able to see my cancer in a box beside me on the floor instead of this black cloud hanging over me all the time," Brooks said. So she experienced these lasting effects after just that one trip. So to Brooks' surprise, she says her cancer has stayed in that metaphorical box through the last 10 months of treatment. In fact, that one psychedelic trip made such a difference that she's not sure whether it's even necessary to take psilocybin again. But she's fighting for this not just for her. She says here, hopefully this allows other people to get that exemption faster. And hopefully it's the start of something really great where therapists can use it with their clients, she said. So there is so much damn information, research, science. It's the kinds of hoops that people have to jump through to prove that something works when it comes to a natural plant. In this case, a mushroom, is absolutely ridiculous compared to how, pharmaceuticals are manufactured and just shot right through to approval because there is a for-profit motive involved. But here, you can do your own research. I just have a couple links here that I'll link below the video as well when I cut this out of the live stream. But here, researchers believe psychedelic drugs could help combat depression and addiction. Here's how magic mushrooms affect your brain. So they have a short breakdown here that's just worth reading. So it increases activity in the visual cortex, leading to changes in perception, and it decreases network activity in the default mode network, driving the experience of ego loss. Researchers believe it's the combination of these effects that makes psilocybin an effective tool for combating depression and addiction, for which research shows support. So yeah, it's not only great for people that are that are experiencing depression or anxiety, but also for addiction. And saying that can shock people, because a lot of people have this view of drugs as cocaine, alcohol, magic mushrooms, MDMA, ayahuasca, these are all the same thing because they're all drugs. No, they are all very different and should be treated as such. So when you have mountains of evidence showing the benefits in controlled studies of people using this to improve, whether it's end of life or depression or anxiety or addiction, to just completely ignore that and understand and ignore that this is, in the case of Lori Brooks, at least one treatment, one single treatment, and it having this long-lasting effect, to just ignore that is ridiculous. Another study here from The Guardian, or a report from The Guardian. They broke my mental shackles. Could magic mushrooms be the answer to depression? New trials have shown the drug psilocybin to be highly effective in treating depression, with Oakland the latest U.S. city to, in effect, decriminalize it last week. Some researchers say it could become indefensible to ignore the evidence, but how would it work as a reliable treatment? So this also reminds me, yes, Oakland has decriminalized it. I believe Denver has as well, though I'm not positive. But I think a couple of U.S. cities, Oakland and another city, has decriminalized it. So, look, it's starting at least. There's at least an awareness that this is not something, at the very least, not something to be criminalized over. But also, we have to, I think it's important that we all discuss this. If you are aware, if you've had your own experience or know of this research or whatever it is, discuss with people in your life. Educate other people who have just had this narrow view on drugs their entire lives. And look, I'm not saying it's for everyone. It's not. If you're happy and your life is great, you don't have depression, don't have anxiety, aren't dealing with anything, then you don't need it. But that's why something like this can be used medicinally to benefit so many people. But the fact that it's still illegal in most places prevents the people that need it most from getting it.